Now, when Brett and Angela got the first power bill in their new home, they smelt a rat. Even when they cut back on appliance use, the big bills kept rolling in. Now they're in a bill dispute to beat them all.
Over the last 6 years, we've spent probably $45,000 and upwards just on power, which is more than our mortgage.
I've told them over and over again that there was something wrong with our meter, but they refused to come and have a look at it.
For 6 long years, Brett and Angela Beveridge have been in one big power struggle.
Ergon refused to listen to us, and I believe now that they're covering up their mistake that they've made.
The couple and their 2 children moved to this modest 3-bedroom home on acreage just outside of Rockhampton in central Queensland to live the laid-back life. It's been anything but ever since they got their first electricity bill.
Our bills there were averaging around the $600, $700 a quarter. And then we moved out to here and we got our first bill, and the bill came in at, I think it was around $1,280 for the quarter.
The pair put the big bill down to old wiring in the home and ageing appliances, but still did all they could to cut their consumption.
Turn off the dryer, turn off the freezer. We tried everything and our power didn't fluctuate at all.
It was when we got the second quarterly bill that it was nearly identical, so then it was time to make our first phone call. I'm just ringing up just to make a query on our latest bill we received from you guys.
The lady that I was speaking to, she got me to take a photo of the meter every single day and use a different thing or turn a different thing off. So I unplugged the dryer for the day and it didn't make any difference.
For 6 years, the big bills from Ergon Energy, the only power supplier in the area, kept arriving. They averaged between $1,100 and a whopping $1,500 a quarter, adding up to over $5,000 a year.
Everywhere else we've lived, we've never had power bills that high.
And either have many other Aussie families. According to a CanStar survey, the average annual electricity bill for a family of 4 is $1,901 a year. The Beverages were paying $3,000 more than that.
I then requested to get a fault meter test done. Their response was they don't do it for residential places, they only do it for commercial.
Brett says he was forced to get his own electrician to look over their meter and house to pinpoint where all the power was being used. But they too couldn't locate the problem and agreed the big bills didn't add up.
We tried to save everywhere we could, but we couldn't figure it out.
February 2015 and Cyclone Marsha whipped up a whole new saga in the Beverages power battle. The family's property was hit hard. At the time, power was cut to thousands of central Queensland homes.
Over 1,800 lines down. This is absolutely significant, and we are doing everything we possibly can to restore power.
Big pine tree actually landed on our power pole out there that's got the meter box on it. Ergon landed in the paddock in a helicopter, walked over. Because the lines were on the ground, they cut the lines.
Because we lost so much, like everything. Walking through those doors, coming home, we couldn't drive over our grid. There was trees down, the whole house was a mess, mud, and every single thing was wrecked.
The family was forced to move out while their home was rebuilt, but that didn't stop the exorbitant power bills.
And even when you weren't living here, you still had a bill for over $1,000.
In that 6 months period, we still got a very high power bill, even though there was no power running to the house.
Ergon Energy waived that bill once it was questioned. During the rebuild, the entire home was rewired and new appliances were installed. But even that didn't fix their bill fiasco, and the fruitless pleas for Ergon Energy to investigate continued.
And at no point they offered to come out and investigate, replace the meter, do a meter test on it. Every single time they just kept saying your bills were consistent.
Fast forward to February this year and the Beverages power fight took another turn, this time in the right direction, with a new digital meter suddenly appearing in their power box. The family only realised they'd received a new meter when they had a workman come out to investigate converting to solar power. That's when they claim that they were told by Ergon their old meter was part of a family of faulty meters and had been replaced. Brett asked that it be further investigated, but that's when he was told the old meter had been destroyed.
Oh, I think that's disgusting, yeah, and convenient that the meter was all of a sudden disappeared or destroyed.
Fed up, Brett filed a formal complaint with the Energy and Water Ombudsman.
They said there is a period that they are meant to keep the meter for this sort of reason.
Instantly, the beverages power bills began to drop, with their household usage falling from around 64 kilowatts per day with the old meter down to 30, and their monthly charges going from as much as $500 a month to an average of just $250.
For the 6-month period, it's worked out to be 25 kilowatts a day on average.
Which we have been home every day for the COVID-19.
Yeah,
We've had the kids home, homeschooling, internet, air cons. I haven't been at work, Brett hasn't been at work, so we have used a bit more power than what we would have.
Brett and Angela believe this is proof they've been overcharged for the past 6 years and say the investigating Ombudsman officer told them they're likely out of pocket more than $16,900.
They worked it out on the average of, since the meter's been replaced till now, on the average kilowatts per day, working at the 27 to 25 kilowatts a day, compared to the 6 years prior, averaging between 50 and 64 kilowatts a day, worked out to be $16,900 odd.
They say Ergon Energy did initially offer them compensation, but nowhere near that amount.
So they offered us in goodwill a credit of $572 because the meter was due to be replaced 12 months prior, but they hadn't got around to doing it. So in their goodwill, they offered us $572.
There's many factors that can impact the cost of your bill, and it's really good to be able to have that conversation with your provider and understand what, if any, of the changes have occurred and how that has impacted you on your bill.
Jane Perez is the Energy and Water Ombudsman for Queensland. She says faulty meters are uncommon, but not unheard of.
Depending on what type of meter you have, there's plenty of different ways that an energy company can actually look at that meter and work out what's occurring in the circumstances.
She encourages anyone who can't reach a resolution with their energy provider over bill discrepancies to contact the Ombudsman so it can be investigated.
We provide a fair and independent process to ensure that both parties have equal say and an opportunity to have their matter reviewed.
In a statement to A Current Affair, Ergon Energy's Retail Executive General Manager says, "We regret the situation that has resulted for this customer. I can, however, advise that Ergon Retail has been working with this customer to resolve their complaint. Sometimes we might not get it right in the eyes of our customers, but we always strive to learn from that so we can deliver a better experience." Brett says the tens of thousands of dollars they've forked out for power alone over the past 6 years has well and truly bitten hard into the family budget.
This is a year and a half's wage for my wife, so she's gone to work for over a year, 2 years, just for nothing to pay Ergon.
Now they want Ergon Energy to pay up.
You know, that is a lot of money to anybody, I think. And just to give it away to Ergon for no reason and we're not getting anything for it, it's not good.
Ergon Energy has agreed to credit the beverages account for $1,907 to cover an overpayment for the past 12 months. But outrageously, they'll get nothing for the previous 5 years.